So I'm going to jump on the back end of the bike. I got new pipes and tires. I'm in the process of doing that. I don't know how much of it I'm going to film, but I'll probably just at least show before and after. So this will be the before. Sure, that rear wheel comes apart. Leaves the sprocket and everything. I was kind of wondering how this was going to come apart, but the wheel is just isolated. The sprocket is isolated, and it has dampeners running through the chain. So I'm going to split this, and I got new ones of these guys. So I got to take the chain, find out where the master link is, and then we'll split that and we can get the two new ones on. Plus I want to clean this up anyway. And it's like the next day I had to go to an appointment, so I shut her down and we were picking back up from where I left off. But tires hasn't been changed yet. I'm going to get onto that first, but I figure I'd just kind of show how this setup is inside here before I button it up. It's a pretty cool deal. When you pull the axle out and kick the spacer out, you can actually come right off the hub and slide the wheel out instead of the sprocket being attached to the wheel. It just is on its own bearing, and then it has rubber dampeners or insulators between that and the hub of the wheel to take some of the cushioning out of there. And then it all gets sealed up. These are the boots that cover the chain. A little fun to fish them through there. And then on the inside, you reattach that cover back on it, and everything stays out of the weather. I like to have a dirt bike like that. It's a good idea. So I'm going to get to getting that cover back on there and get into changing that tire. So I went to go take the air out of the back tire and pop it off the bead. Let's just say that tire is a tad stiff. So I brought the bead breaker out. It's not really meant for this, but I think we at least maybe give it a shot. You gotta give something a shot, right? So I figured I'll go walk around with this guy and try to at least push it down. If I can get it to. It's got to kind of work to the middle of the rim so you can pry up. You can't just start prying here. This has to be down in that valley for it to come up over the side. So that's what I'm going to go work on. Get that petrified tire off of there. I don't know how well this is going to work. Let's give her a shot though. One of those tires you want to cut off. Yeah, it's just going to fight me. I might have to put it back in the breaker there, put the breaker down on this side and try popping the bead over. I'd like to say that'd be easy. That was easy, but it wasn't. So the tube was not holding air on the bike. It fill it up, it seemed like it was going flat, like probably about 3 hours or so. We will pop the valve stem back in it, we'll throw some air in it, and hopefully it's not leaking around the stem and we can put a patch on it. If not, I gotta go take a ride to the local motorcycle shop and pay 3 times the amount that you normally would pay for a tube. But let's see what we get. Nothing worse than if it doesn't go down at all. I am probably going to go get my little spray bottle, spray that down, and answer the phone. Let's see if this will reveal anything. I might have to put a little bit more soap in this. Let's see. Blow right in the center of the stem. Don't you hate when you can't find it? Alright, I'm going to let that sit for a couple of minutes. And we'll see if we have any place that bubbles up. It was coming out of somewhere. So I sprayed that down, but I could not find any kind of bubbling on it anywhere. Unfortunately, the weather is so cold that I do not have, I usually have a bin that is filled with water. You kind of dunk it in it and, you know, look for bubbles coming up. but that is not ready yet. So I haven't seen anything. Possibly it was coming from the valve stem when I took the stem out and put it back in. May have cured that. But for right now, we're gonna put a mark on the wall and we're gonna let that sit while we're doing some other things. And we'll see if that tire starts dropping down below there. As you can tell, it's quite a bit larger than what the tire would be. And as it loses air, it'll shrink down. And if it doesn't, we'll put it back in. Well, while we're waiting for that tire to go do its thing, cleaned up the rim in the parts washer with Scotch-Brite pads, actually no, SOSO pads in the parts washer. And I figure we're going to the pipes. So these are the old pipes that were on there, the old mufflers. You can see how much chrome is missing from them. But I still need to reuse those fronts. What I'm gonna do is clean up the two new used ones I have. And they'll be better. There's not big sections of chrome coming off them. I mean, they're not going to be anywhere near perfect, but they should be decent. So I'm going to go to Magic Video, clean them, and bring it right back. And a little after. Again, they're still wet from the essentially mineral spirits, and soap pads is what knocked off the heavy stuff. So letting that kind of drain a little bit, keeping an eye on the tube, and the rim was done, and you can see how much is missing on the rim. Just material that's gone altogether. So I am going to wipe this all down, probably hit it with some glass cleaner, and I'm going to try polishing it with semi-chrome. So I made a comment before. I have some, it's just that I figure these things are so far gone, I don't think it's going to do much for it. Someone also said, how about aluminum foil and rubbing it in and Coke. Unless the aluminum foil breaks off and fills in the little cavities, the missing chrome altogether, I don't know what it's going to do for. I could see it if you had like chrome where you can see where it's brown but there's still chrome over it. You rub over that, that'll come off. Or like that, you know, that'll kind of come back. But to get, and here's the prime example. This one I did and this one I didn't do. You can see the difference between the two, just cleaning them. But once it's missing altogether, I don't give it much of a shot of it really helping it much. So let's go give that a shot. Yeah, I think the surface is going to be too rough for this, but we'll give it a shot. I think wax would probably do about the same thing. Let's see what we got. Well, I mean, it works great on the stuff that's chrome, but I think when you get into like that'll be the tell right there, right? Yeah, I mean, you're not going to fix it. You're literally not going to fix that. It is what it is. So I'm going to continue to run that around there, clean that up the best as possible. And I might just switch over to a good paste wax and do like you would paint, but we'll see. Yeah, so on the wheel I just went back with carnauba wax, and that's kind of drying to a haze. We'll buff that off in a second, but I decided to take semi-chrome and do the fender, and you can kind of see the difference between there and there. This was just kind of like cleaned with Scotch-Brite and soapy water, and then this is the waxing of it with that. So like in this aspect it would work really good. Just nothing's gonna replace the chrome that's physically missing, you know. So I'll continue on the fender with that and the wheel with the carnauba wax. I don't bounce it around a lot, but it kind of makes it more entertaining and more fun when you're working on it. This directional hanging down, actually they both are. And I can see this piece of metal right here has a big kind of wave to it, like it took a hit and then kind of bent up. So why don't we see if we can give it a helping hand. I don't have the back of the bike tied down. I might have to do that. Let's just see how hard it is to get to move some. That one's slippery. I don't know if that one's going to be able to do anything for us. Let's get... Let's grab it. There's two bolts over there. I'm trying to get it between the bolts. Let's see if we can. Yeah. Better, but I think I have to put a couple of straps on the bike. Yeah, we got more to go. See the wave I'm talking about right there? I know I got that strap down. And the more I do look at it, it looks like the stem's got a bit of a bend right here too. So let's see if we can correct that. I don't know how close I can get. A lot of this stuff is kind of like pot metal-y type of material. And it does not like to bend, kind of like aluminum, you know? Watch, they were supposed to be on an angle from the factory and I'm screwing it up. What do you think, a little more? Let's go, we'll put that there, see if we can get the adjustable on it too. I don't know if this could be enough room for all of it. Complete sound effects. That's pretty good. It's a hair down. Let's go work on that one a little bit. It's got to get rotated this way. Let's see if we get that one straight and bounce back and forth. What do you think? Tag team this one too? Or already rotated it kind of straight. See if I can keep my face out of the picture too, making funny faces. Let's go with, okay. One more. Think I should dare going more, or? That one looks almost perfectly straight. If you have a straight edge, go across it. Let's just eyeball it. Actually, I think they're pretty good. That one looks like it could probably go up a hair. And this one kind of looks like it does a little something like that with this, but I'm gonna get that picky with it. So we'll give that one a 2. I'm gonna get a flat edge, put it across it. Flat edge. Let's get you closer. Let's see if we look back and with level, you can see the top of the screw on that one. I'm leaving them well enough alone because that looks about the top of the screw on that one. About the seam on that one. Sold. Done. Well, ain't they just pretty? Clean them up with the semi-chrome too. Got some fingerprints on it, but they're decent. I screwed the lenses on. So I figure what we can try and do is I still want to kind of screw around with that semi-chrome and see if it makes an improvement over just what regular wax does. I did those and they came up really nice. So the front fender has been all through the process and then hit with a wax the last thing. So how about we put a piece of tape down the center of it. We'll just work one side of it, clean it, pull the tape off. We'll see if there's any difference from side to side. Don't know if the overhead light is screwing you up much or not, but let's even take care of this fender. It says it works on aluminum too. When I put the last half of the case on, is if there's a one case side is off, we'll try it with that. I can't talk and do this at the same time. Alright, let's buff that off now. I think it's going to be roughly about the same. Let's get you positioned in the middle. That looks duller than that. I don't see where it helped us much on this part. But again, we still have the aluminum to go and try. And nothing saying that, you know, if it was just a cruddy fender and we went over and cleaned it up, I'm sure it's going to make it, you know, the same as this. But I'm just saying that the it seems like the Canula wax is about the same deal. Now I don't see our tire changing much on that mark. I think one last spray around. I'm going to see if we can kind of see anything, and I'm going to spray around that valve stem and just kind of bend the valve stem around a little and see if we can get it possibly have a failure there. Nothing's going to suck more. We put this tube back in. It's no good, you know. Let's see if everything is close by. That's where I would suspect over time. I don't see anything. It's the original tube too. It's got the same name. It had original tires on it, I believe. So like 40 years old. And where are we? Right there. I say we reassemble the back rim and the back tire back on. Then we jump on the exhaust, get to see the final look. I figure before we put the tire on, why don't we go and see how wobbly the wheel is. And if the wheel is wobbly, let's take some wobbles out. Alright, so right there it's hitting. And we are going to want to see how tight they are first. We're going to want to tighten up from this side. I have a spoke adjusting tool. Well, I had a spoke adjusting tool, I just can't find it. So let's give those two and you a little bump. We'll see if that did for us. Basically, if you get a sound touching all the way around, seems like this area right here has to go this way a little bit. I'm going to continue to go tight because I don't mind getting some out of the spokes. I'm just giving a tweak on each one. And I find you just gotta have to get used to how much it responds on each rim. Okay, so right in this area again, we'll remember the valve stem. Sometimes I put a piece of tape on it too, just so you know where you're clocked on it. Alright, valve stem is where it was, right? Ain't much right there. It's touching there and there. Let's go right here a little bit. And we're not near the valve stem. Let's get that one in here. We'll get this one in here too. Wrong way. You're going the wrong way. Did I go the wrong way with the other one too? I think I did. So right in this area it has to go tighter. Good evening. There. And then in a little bit, if I'm going too crazy, I'll start loosening the ones on the other side and let it kind of shift that direction. Get on there. It's where the adjusting tool will be so much better. Like, I'm looking at the gap too. I don't know if you guys can see it. So I'm also watching that gap. It's gonna get noisy. Hold on for the ride. Alright. I'm watching that gap right there. Little bump. I'm also going to look at the other side, because sometimes it's the rim being like this. Why don't we jump over to this side? So right here has to come this way. And a regular guy doing this, I'm sure is much better at it than me for the 2 times a year that I do it. But it kind of gives you the idea. And you also have the run out of the wheel. And if you have a, yeah, that's going this way. It's a big issue. This area one more time. We'll do one more shot and then I'll continue on without you guys, and I think you've seen enough of this, haven't you? Yeah, the run out direction, that's really a pain in the ass to do, because you got to work with all the spokes on that one. I think that is going to be good enough. You can see the rim go up and down a little bit, but I'm not going to get into that. If it was really bad, I would. I like it. I didn't look at my brake cable up yet. It's decent. Of course, the run out now. I should probably not be holding the camera and doing that, but it's got a little bit. I got 30 pounds in it. I'm gonna let it set overnight, and then I'll deflate it and reinflate it again, kind of see if it wants to settle in. It doesn't look terrible. Chain's all lined up. Well, it's buttoned up. I'm missing one clamp right there for now to get a tie wrap. I have tune-up parts for it. We can put the cover on, or the exhaust. I want to have more fun with the exhaust right now, so why don't we work on that? And what we have, I still haven't polished those pipes up. They've just been cleaned in the parts washer. And then we got one side I cleaned. You can see the front tube on that one, and then the front tube on that one. Yeah, she's a tad toasty. So you can see to get them apart, and we're gonna try some stuff with these and see if we can maybe dress them a little bit. But first I'm going to clean them, and then go from there. So I took that one pipe off and wire wheeled it, because there's no polishing really. It's going to do much for that. And I was going to go bolt it back up and get into what we want to try to get into with it. But I figured before we do that, I was looking at the jugs in the cylinder head, as far as like how we want to kind of clean this stuff up. And I think if I try, other than if you took the engine apart and cleaned them and whatnot, you would come up kind of any other way you're going to go do it. If you try to use some kind of power tool, you're going to get a really nice clean area, but then you're going to get like areas you can't, and you're going to get like swirl marks and stuff in it. and it just looks like somebody tried to clean it up. I'm gonna try this, see how it goes. We're just gonna take by hand a wire brush. I want to knock off a bunch of that loose stuff that you see kind of flaking there, and whatever will kind of clean off. And then I think probably the best bet would just be kind of like to mist it with some kind of oil, and we'll run up and run it through the heat cycles. And I think when the oil gets in there and the oil gets hot and kind of baked on, this is going to go more to like a blackish color, and this will go to more of like a raw metal color, is my guess. Don't know till you try, right? So I think this will knock off the heavy stuff anyway. And you're kind of able to get in there, and whatever I do, it'll be even. So if I try using a power tool down each one of them, it won't. They're actually going to clean up, huh? Let me pop that gas tank off and take care of that before we move and put the pipes on, because they'll just be fighting us. I may take the carb. Well, that worked out pretty nice. What I like about it is there's still black paint left underneath. So I think if we get the rust to go to, you know, gunmetal kind of color, let's go spray some oil on it. Get we get more of an idea what it's gonna be like. Let's soak in. I'll do it a couple times, but we'll start with that. You get the idea of that, right? So let's to work on the pipes. Let's work on the pipes. You're gonna run them like that. I figure we'll keep it away from the motor so that we have a little room to work. One of the things I have is this cloth. I don't know if this is like heat wrap. We're gonna go find out right now. Should explode on us. I think it'll work. It's gonna be brittle afterwards. Actually, I don't know if it's gonna get that hot though. What's it work like in the middle? Yeah, strong like that. So we have this and that Chinese finger stuff. Let me go grab that. And we got, let's see in a better spot, this stuff, which is like that Chinese fingers. Don't know if this is going to be able, this is going to hurt. I'd be smart enough to put gloves on. All right, can we do that on just the front pipe? I think that might have a cool look to it. We got to find a better way to have the end of that though. That's not looking too great. Guess if we put some kind of metal band around the top, make one. See, put the other pipe on it. We'll see how we like it. I'm not liking it. I don't know if it goes with the bike though, that's the thing. Maybe we can darken it up, throw some black paint on it, or maybe when it gets hot it'll change color. So I kind of want to sit and ponder that setup over there, if that's too blingy for this bike or not. So I figured when we hop over to this side and we'll play with this and see if we can make a wrap on that pipe and how we like it, and kind of go from there. So I've never seen a video, I've never done it before, so I figured just going to try and wing it the way that I would see fit to wing it, and if it works fine, if it doesn't work, that's fine too. So I actually think I'm going to take some spray adhesive and spray the pipe so that it's not wanting to slide on me and undo on me, and I'm not fighting it as much. And I figure once it starts up, it'll burn up, it'll just kind of burn that off. And again, I want the I don't want this being bright white. I want this to darken up, and yeah, it's gonna get oil stains and whatnot and look more the part. So I'm gonna try sticking this maybe back on that muffler, and so it's in the open, and we'll try wrapping it and see how that goes. All right, I don't have any idea how well this is gonna work out. Well, that's a fun experiment. I'd say we probably go around like maybe 3 times on the start, leave enough room for the collar. And then I guess we gotta watch, that's gonna keep going. I guess we gotta watch what direction we go, because on the other pipe, the other side, you wanna match it. You don't want them, yeah, you want them opposing each other, wherever you went on one. That's gonna stay in there. Alright, let's go for it. I'm gonna leave like, let's go for 1/2 inch exposure. See how that works out for us. And again, we already have a backup plan, right? So it's not like if this doesn't work, we don't have anything to go with. I hope this works out though, because I got a bunch of this, and then I'll just use it on every bike project. Plus, it'd be nice if it does hold up to the heat. I don't know how hot the pipe is going to be there. You guys want to continue watching this? If you want to, I'll bring you back for the finale. And that way I can relax. I got it mocked up a little bit, and not disliking that. I think it's too bright. I think it needs to age. I think once it ages, it will look lose some of the shine, you know, and it have a little more in the blackish realm. But I do like it. I think if we can find some clamps for the top and bottom that are, you know, something like that we can kind of clamp on them. I know they sell them, but I want something old looking. And here's the other side. I just have tape holding the last couple of wraps together because I don't know where these two are going to meet, so I want to have the capacity of adjusting that. Plus, I'm not sure how to tie that off. I might go with a clamp or something too. I know there's a way to fold them over itself and tuck it in and whatever. But I think that, other than the fact it's too white right now, also looks good. I don't have a problem with that neither. Other than, again, the brightness of it. What do you say we take and maybe we'll put the seat, the tank, and the side covers on it. Get the straps out of the way. We'll just kind of eyeball it and see how we like it. Just washing off the bottom side of the tank. Someone was commenting that if I could show the bottom of it for their bike and how it's hung. It has 2 rubber bungs with a stud on the inside. When you pull it together, fattens up, locks up on both sides. And then in the front is weird. Of course, it's upside down. This sits on the frame rail, and then there's a hole here, and then so there's a metal bracket that comes up across and with a bolt on it, and you got to get up inside there, bolt that thing together, get the nut on it, and tighten it up. Unless there's another way of doing it I'm not aware of. It seems like it's kind of a weird setup to do the front of the tank, but when we get into putting that on and staying on, I'll try to film it. All right, we got our all pieces just stuck on it again. I am happy with the way it's coming out. I love the way the tank is. I love this. It's ugly and good looking at the same time, if that makes any sense to me. A lot of you might think it's just ugly. That's fine. So that's that side put back together, and I am happy with the way that would look with a couple of bands on each side and darkened up. It's too light, I think. And then the other side, other than the blue tape sticking out like a sore thumb, I like it. And again, that needs to be darkened up too. That needs some, like a, like a tea stain, or just oil and then burned off, and then a little bit of, now it needs to be roughed up a little bit. It's too dainty right now. And it just doesn't match anything else on the bike. But I think if you get like a, something like in that realm, then it kind of goes with the rest of the bike. Just rub them with my rubby hands. I didn't tape off where they go. I think I showed that already. So I can move them around because the pipes are just stuck and they're not all the way tapped in. It's getting late in the evening, and I have devoted as much time as I can to this today, but we got pretty far. We got the back wheel set up together. We got the tire done. Pipes cleaned up. What else? That done. The boots put on. I don't even remember anymore. But cleaned up some stuff. Straightened out the directionals. Good deal. Moving right along. Hopefully get pretty close to getting wrapped up on this one. But it's that kind of time of the evening. I will leave it up to the comments which one we decide to go with, and we'll kind of take off from there, how we finish the rest of that out. I like them both evenly right now. I don't have one that is standing out more than the other that I like. I think we need to kind of play with some of the coloring of them, but I'll let you guys fight that out in the comments. How's that? For me, I'm gonna go call it a night. I want to thank all you for coming around and hanging out in the garage. And if you haven't subbed, give me a sub. I keep making more of these, and we'll go from there. Till then, guys, later.